I liked what Nesmith brought too, though, tonight. And you said it, Josue. He has those tools defensively. We all saw the play where he had the block catching up on the drive when Tyrese Maxey blew by him. That's the length that he has. Wasn't in the right position. It was a tough switch, gets blown by an athletic guy, but he gets back and makes a good block there. And there were a few plays on screens I thought where his length, where his physique really aided, where his positioning did not in those spots.
Well, Nesmith, you're saying?
Yes.
Well, right out of the gate, first thing we see of him is a catch, really quick release, shoot, and it goes down.
Step back, too.
Even though everything else did not drop with him, it was close. He was around the rim. The shot looked good. You could definitely see what he's got. What is curious, we were talking about this before the game, was the way they've talked about him leading up to this. And Bobby, you pointed this out. I'm going to play a soundbite or two, guys. I want you guys to hear this. It is interesting the way Brad Stevens has talked about Aaron Nesmith throughout camp. So before I load it with our opinions and what Bobby's been kind of saying this last week, we'll just play it and let you guys decide. So here's one. I'm going to go back to back with them. So play this one first.
Aaron Nesmith hadn't played a 5-on-5 game since January till his first practice, and everybody's asking me if he's going to be in the rotation or not. Man, he was just trying to get up and down the court. Like, there's so much growth that we all have to go through. We're just on an expedited timeline here.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Okay, so that was one there where Brad was basically just saying the guy hasn't played basketball, but he didn't really specify why. He didn't say necessarily, oh, it's an injury and that's why he hasn't been playing. And so he's basically saying in practice he's not getting up and down the court. Here's another thing Brad said later in the week when they're talking about the rookie impacts. And again, a lot of this had to do with Nesmith here.
Well, I don't know about making an impact. We'll see down the road, John. There's, I've seen rookies and or freshmen when I was coaching in college that had great first few days and then struggled. And I've seen plenty that really struggled. I'd say more than not, that really struggled the first couple of weeks. And then it clicked, and then they were able to really help. I think that these guys are bright. They're working hard, and they can impact us appropriately and in a positive way. That said, I think time will tell because it is a different level when you get out there with these guys on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, so there you have it.
He really went out of his way to like pour water on the rookie experience there.
Yeah, a couple of times last week. Those were two separate pressers there, and neither of them were really provoked. You didn't hear the questions in there, but the first one I had asked him about the preparedness that you had with players trying to build up their games in the cases of guys who have been here, and in the cases of the rookies who hadn't been playing in his case since January. Plenty of time for those guys to build up, but it was surprising that he didn't do a ton of 5-on-5 action. Now, why is that? I don't think it was the injury. I think that's pretty far in the rear view. We're talking almost a year out now since he injured his foot. But who knows? Was there not availability where he lives there in South Carolina? Was there not a lot of workouts going on? I know a guy like Obi Toppin is in New York City with a ton of pros there, so he was able to get workouts in. But this whole COVID situation going on, who knows? You're not going to fault guys who were staying on the safe side. But
yeah. But like you could see it two ways. One is Brad doesn't want to pump any tires early, which I could see, but that's more like a Belichickian thing. Usually you don't hear that. Brad,
he pulls some of that stuff. He does.
He does some of that stuff too, but he was going out of his way here to be like, this guy's not even close to ready, and without calling him out per se, because he didn't want to do that. He was just kind of saying like, and so I thought, oh, he's playing his way into shape, or the foot's still bothering him. We weren't going to see him. Then he goes out and plays basically the entire second half, 19 minutes. I liked what I saw of him. It is interesting that was Brad's take. And for whatever reason, it almost seemed in sort of a punitive sort of way that he didn't get any run with the starters, or in the first half, whereas Pritchard did. So it's interesting to make that comment about rookies, but to allow one of them to play.
That's the difference. That's the key difference there.
It was a huge difference in how they were treated. And then Nesmith came out in total garbage time, basically played, all the way through there. And again, we liked what we saw, but it is something there. He's not. Yeah. He's clearly not where Brad wants him to be.
It's interesting because it's not like the first rookie Brad's ever coached, and I can't really remember like a bunch of other instances where was talking that way about, whether it's Brown or Tatum or Smart or whoever it may be. I can't really recall that happening. So what what you're saying is that this is a Danny Ainge pick, and Brad Stevens did not support it, and he is not a fan of the pick, and he will not let Naismith play this year.
I'm not saying that. At all. I'm saying everybody in this room wanted a different guy, but I'm also not saying that. I'm also not saying that the other day on text I got really
upset. Pretty good right now.
Jimmy supported it more than anyone. Jimmy was, he didn't name him by name, but he wanted that type of guy. So
everyone wanted a shooter, and if he goes out there and he is a lights out shooter and that's all he does, fine, great. Great.
Yeah, but I think
gotta adjust to that.
Do a little more on the defensive end, though. I think it really boiled down to that, guys. I think
we don't
Stevens
need a perfect player. It's just interesting that whatever reason. Yeah, Brad thought he's not far enough along to warrant rotation minutes.
Well, let's do the thing.
Duncan Robinson on the Heat there. Not a big defender, and he started in the NBA Finals, and he was draining shots left and right. So, you can't always have it both ways, but you take the shooter when you can get him.
That's how Stevens coaches, and that's the thing. He didn't say defense in either of those comments, but that's what you think about when you think of saying the intensity of this level, what it takes to win at this level, that kind of stuff. That's the way Stevens has coached before, and he has been tough on rookies in that sense. Like Jaylen Brown really had to earn his way in that first year on that Isaiah team, and Jason Tatum came in and defended right away, so I think that kind of gave him the edge right there. So
right when nobody thought he would, but yeah. The defense has to come along before you have a chance at earning minutes. But just to simply say the guy hasn't played since January and can't get up and down the court was kind of like, nobody asked him that.
Right.
I asked the question. It had nothing to do with Naismith.
Right.
But it also could be him trying to protect Naismith too. You got to think of it the other way around. He's almost preparing people for, hey, this guy wasn't in the bubble playing with everybody. This guy wasn't playing, 45 days ago, so let's give him a little runway here. Let's give him a break. So I think that's more in line with how Brad is as a human being. So that's probably where he's coming from. But you could see how you could, if you're somebody like me or John, you can see how you can flip that completely.
Jimmy, again, I just rate everything on the plausibility scale. You can make all of those points without pointing out that he hasn't played since January. You can easily just say, you can easily make that point without saying he's having a tough time getting up and down the court. You could just simply say the rookie learning curve is really steep considering these guys have had no training camp, no time to get acclimated to the system. And it's going to take a while with these guys. I just want to warn you. You could do that blanket statement about all rookies and just rinse and repeat over and over again every time you're asked if all you want to do is protect them and pump the tires. But to take two shots like that and be like, this dude can't even freaking get back on defense.
That was a different level of comment from Brad. I hadn't quite heard anything like that.
He hasn't tied his sneakers and.
That's all. You can accomplish the thing you guys are saying differently is all I'm saying.
To Jimmy's point, though, there was a ton of hype around.
I see it, John.
Right.
We called him
like that. He was like Nesmith, like this dude?
This freaking guy,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, we called him the best shooter in the draft. People were making the case for him starting, so there was definitely a hype building there that he tried to quell to some degree, whether like Jimmy said, to try to protect him and the expectations a little bit, or to just kind of set everybody's expectations in the right place again, because again, we're talking about a rookie here, and we saw what rookie production looks like last year.
Guys, we will answer questions, I promise. People are saying in the chat. We absolutely will. We're just rolling through some stuff here. I saw Wezzy B saying about answering questions. We'll get to some for sure. And there's some interesting stuff in the comments right now regarding Nesmith and what might be going on there, but I can't. It's unverified.
I think we're trying to figure out how we feel about it. Do you guys not like Nesmith or
post that question when we get to it?
It's unverified.